Hi everyone, welcome to the course preview for Ling 110 Introduction to Linguistics. My name is Claire Bowen. I'm the instructor for this class. I'm a professor in the Linguistics department and I work on endangered languages and language change. We also have a TF for this course this semester. Marisha Evans is a third year graduate student also in the Linguistics department. Ling 110 has no cap, no prerequisites, there's no pre-registration, and everyone is welcome to join the class. Everyone who wants a seat will be able to get one. Ling 110 also fulfills the social sciences distribution requirement, if that's something that's of interest to you. I want to give you a brief description of the course and what we'll cover. Linguistics is the scientific study of language, so it's language in the abstract, not any one particular language. And so we're going to look at a number of different overarching questions related to language and language as a trait of the human species, if you like. So one big question, of course, is why do we have language? And what is it that we have when we have it? So what is it that makes language a particular system, and how does it differ from other types of communication systems? What are the components of language? How do they differ, or how do they stay the same throughout the world, and why is that the case? So one thing that makes language really interesting is that there are 7,000 or so languages in the world, and they differ a lot from place to place, region to region, language to language. But at the same time, they're surprisingly similar. So we'll be looking at that linguistic diversity and linguistic similarity, and how that relates to our brains and our societies and language use. And finally, we'll be thinking about common misperceptions and misconceptions about language throughout the semester. People have really strong ideas about language, even though language is largely invisible to us, at least the underlying structures for it. So by the end of this class, you'll be thinking analytically about language in the abstract. You'll know more about the world's linguistic diversity. You'll understand more about the brain's role in language, the mental side of language. You'll have a firm foundation for further study in areas like linguistics and cognitive science, and you'll develop problem-solving skills, particularly around language. You might wonder why you should take this class. Well, you will like this class if, above all, you're curious about language and how it works, or you're interested in how languages are similar and different across the world. These two are often reasons that people take this class. You might be into conlangs, constructed languages, or you might know a lot of languages and are curious about the regularities in them and similarities, but that's by no means a prerequisite for this class. People who know only one language do just fine in linguistics. You might like this class if you're interested in cognitive science, linguistics, psychology, anthropology, or maybe you're interested in computer science and natural language processing and you want to know more about the natural language side. These are all excellent reasons to take this class. Let me talk a little bit about the logistics now. This is subject to change, of course. I'm recording this at the end of July, and a lot can happen in a month before we start. You'll have regular readings from the textbook, the language files. Those readings will go along with lectures. These will be asynchronous lectures, so I'm going to record them in advance, and you can watch them at any time, and there will be 2 of these each week. They will then relate to discussion sections, and we're going to schedule these discussion sections to accommodate as many time zones and other logistics as possible. So there'll be 4 of them, and you should attend 2 of them. 2 will be during our regular class time, Monday, Wednesday, 2:30 to 3:45, and there'll be 2 at other times, probably later in the evening on the same day, but subject to confirmation. There will be various asynchronous participation options, for instance, comments on the lecture videos, but also I want a fair amount of interaction both with me and with each other. Simply spoken, it wouldn't be a class without interaction. I can't imagine teaching a class where you wouldn't get to talk to the professor regularly, for example. So we're going to have breakout groups, we're going to have study groups, Jamboards, we have a Slack site, we can communicate with each other. I'm going to try for some in-person things depending on the situation, depending on what we can do safely, social distanced outside, small groups, etc. So that's the basic setup for the class. For assessment, you're going to have weekly problem sets. They'll be due on Fridays each week. There'll be some low stakes quizzing, couple of questions during some lectures, designed to test understanding, and you'll have a midterm and final project to allow you to go into more depth about a language that interests you. There are no exams in this class, no time tests. To get feedback, we'll give you feedback in class, so general feedback. You'll get feedback on your problem sets and the assessment, the assignments that you submit, and including the midterm and final, of course. And we also have office hours, and you're very strongly encouraged to come and talk to us, both about linguistics in general and particularly about how you're doing in the class. I can't emphasize this enough. We really want you to succeed in this class. We've designed the class so that you will be able to succeed and so that we can help you and you can help yourselves to succeed in this class. This is not a class where there are gotcha questions or things like that. We have no interest in that. So for more information, please see Canvas for the full syllabus. I also have a longer logistics video called Lecture 0 that goes into the details of the class in much more detail than this. You're welcome to contact me for further information. Here's my email. Please put intro or Ling 110 in the subject line, and I'll collate questions into an FAQ in Canvas so you can check there as well. Finally, I have a request. I like when I'm teaching to use examples from stuff that you're familiar with as well as stuff that you're not so familiar with, but I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, so I'm a bit out of touch with popular culture from your age group. So please send me a link of something that you like to watch, listen to, read, and so on. Profanity's fine, don't worry about that. No promises that it will actually make it into a lecture, but at the very least it will broaden my summer and it'll lessen the chances that you end up with a magic school bus as the primary source of examples. So with that, have a great rest of your summer, and I look forward to seeing you on August 31st in class.